Good evening. This is Sunday evening on October the 27th, 2019. Um, what you see behind me is, like I said, I'm doing not podcast, I'm doing video daily diaries of my journey for justice. Started this in 2007, making it about Governor O'Malley and the mob machine. Y'all cut my live video off this morning. Y'all been jamming my phone up. I'm a community activist. I'm an independent filmmaker. I'm a documentaire. I'm a businessman and a business owner. My business funded my activism and my philanthropy. The state of Maryland owes me money, and until I get my money, I'm going to keep digging in y'all's ass. The state of Maryland makes a lot of money off the prison industry, mass incarceration, stop and frisk, zero tolerance. I'll make a lot of money off of that. So this is the situation that we have here. On February the 7th, 2011, Scott Shellenberger kidnapped me. He charged me with terrorism. And the state of Maryland participated in this fraud in the court. You can contact Chief Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court, because I told him I was making this documentary about the war on drugs in 2007. Told the NAACP about this. Told Benjamin Jealous about this. Quasi and Fumi. You feel me? I told Tessa about this. Told Mosby about this. Nick and his wife, Marilyn. Congressman Cummings knew about this. See, the war on drugs is a war on the black community, and it don't work without black cooperation. Now, when I got locked up on February the 7th, 2011, you charged me with terrorism because of the case from 1986, State Illinois versus Dwayne Davis. Well, that case was about the war on drugs. State Illinois versus Dwayne Davis was about the guns, the gangs, and the violence. I brung ceasefire here back in 2007. Governor O'Malley approved the program. He approved the program. See, what you did is, when you locked me up on February the 7th, you took my truck, my computer, and you took a lot of my intellectual property. And that's covered under the Constitution. Ain't no law against making a movie about Baltimore. Y'all made Baltimore The Wire. I was making Baltimore Rewired. Y'all locked them brothers up behind the war on drugs. Well, the war on drugs is illegal. So I came to file a class action lawsuit, a $2.5 billion class action lawsuit. Now, Judge Cox has a writ of certiorari. And this is the position we in. You can talk to Todd Yeary. You can talk to JB the lawyer. You can talk to any public defender. You can talk to Ivan Bates. You can talk to Malcolm Ruff. You can talk to Marilyn Mosby, Scott Shellenberger, Greg Bernstein. And you can talk to Ray Kelly from the dissent decree. Just because you got the dissent decree here in Baltimore City don't make the city immune to a lawsuit. Any citizen that was arrested during stop and frisk and zero tolerance, y'all can file a class action lawsuit. Not only for those 800 individuals that y'all looking at with the gun task force, but anybody that was stopped, frisked, held, had to pay bail, had to pay bond, because it was about racketeering and fraud in the court. Right here. Rod Rosenstein, Alan Locks, Rod Rosenstein, Alan Locks, Ronald Davis, Eric Holder, Patrick Fitzgerald, Perez, Capelhoff, and Hardin. That's the Department of Justice, because like I said, the war on drugs is about the war on the black community, and the war on drugs is financed through our government. In 1977, I was in the United States Navy. We participated in the war on drugs. Iran-Contra history would show you that. I was a 17-year-old black man. Don't ask, don't tell ain't just for gays in the military. You look at my DD-214, I got was racketeering, fraud, gambling, loan sharking, drugs, and prostitution. That's what my criminal record was in the Navy. They taught me how to do this. All right. From 1980 to 1991, I sold drugs and guns. I sold guns and drugs. I participated in the violence in the community. When I came to Baltimore, I quit, changed up, started Shorties, the self-help organization for the redevelopment and re-education of the young. It is a nonprofit organization and it is registered in the state of Illinois in 1985. Y'all locked me up in 1985 about the war on drugs, and you locked me up in 2011 about the war on drugs, and you locked me up in 2007 about the war on drugs. It's 3 times. I wrote Chief Justice Roberts about this, all right? And Judge Cox has this, Judge Turnbull had this, Judge Bridges. I named your judges, your lawyers, because we're going to do checks and balances on the courts. No part of the government is stronger than the other. Adrian Jones, Bill Ferguson, Bush, Miller, Governor Hogan, Brian Frost, Doug Gansler. Y'all got to give me access to the grand jury if you like it or not. The state stole money from me. The state committed fraud. And you're going to have to hold Shellenberger accountable. You don't hold Shellenberger accountable, you don't take this case the way it's supposed to be taken, then I get to go to the Supreme Court, a direct appeal to the Supreme Court, because it's a meritorious case. Y'all didn't have a problem locking me up and charging me with terrorism. Didn't have a problem taking that shit to the grand jury. Didn't have a problem doing it. I want the same justice. It's called due process and equal protections, and it's covered under the Constitution. State of Illinois versus Dwayne Davis. It's a precedent-setting case. It sets the precedence on the fact that anytime I invoke my constitutional right of self-representation, you got to respect what come out my mouth as a lawyer, if we in court or not. I file the proper paperwork. I'm an indigent. I don't have to pay filing fees because that's part of your racketeering and your corruption. I'm not going to pay you when you owe me. Lost your mind. You don't want to take me to court? All these names up here, all I'm going to do is just sell this shit to Russia, China. Enemy of my enemy going to be my friend. I'm going to give you a real life house of cards. A real life house of cards, and ain't nothing that you can do about it. Killing me is no longer a option because I ain't scared of dying. My mother dead, my son dead. I'm homeless. But I'm living in faith and enjoying that favor. You feel me? No weapons formed against me. Y'all know that y'all ain't gonna take me to court, and y'all ain't know you ain't gonna charge me with shit. Because if you do, we're gonna take all this shit to court too. You feel me? We're gonna take all this shit to court. We're gonna take the storyboards. We're gonna take the Jailhouse Diaries, and we're gonna take this cell phone. Click, aim, and shoot. We got Google Drive. We got internet, and that shit is on the internet. It's in the ether. You know what the ether is? That means that everything from DD Shortman at AOL.com, everything from MySpace, everything from Twitter, Tumblr, anything that I tap on this computer is out there somewhere, and I know where to find it. We're going to take all that shit in front of the grand jury. We're going to take all the letters that I wrote Congressman Cummings, Sarbanes, Dutch Rupertsberger, Mikulski, Hardin. We're going to talk about the evidence that Brandon Scott had for the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about the storyboard that I got at the NAACP on 26th Street. Yes? All right, thank you. We're going to talk about Anthony McCarthy. And we're going to talk about the politics in Baltimore. I ain't got to change nobody's name. And ain't nobody going to do nothing about what I say. You feel me? Because if I was lying, you'd have whooped my ass by now. If I was lying, you'd have locked me up by now. I'm the most unarrestable black man in Baltimore. That's some real shit. So in the 2020 elections, remember this. I'm a black Republican. I'm a black radical Republican. Not no Donald Trump kiss ass. I'm a Jack Daniels drinking ass. You feel me? I'd advise y'all to get y'all shit together. Because I done called Chief Hyatt like 1,000 times, and Chief Hyatt ain't acting on my complaint. That's denying me due process. And Chief Hyatt was in the room when I was talking about this whistleblower. See, I'm a whistleblower. The ACLU know about it. Miss Gion. The NAACP know about it. I whistleblew on the courts about the corruption in the courts behind the war on drugs. Plain and simple. The social scientific experiment. I am Dreads. Do blacks have rights in which white America respects? I already showed you. I already proved it to you. Or else you wouldn't be watching and listening. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. I'm going to get these people to pay attention. And when we start going after your money, we're going to start filing class action lawsuits. That's the only thing that white America respects is money. So I'm going to go after your money. I'm going to take away your 401ks. I'm going to take away your surety bonds. We'll take away your future. And then we're going to see how you act. And we're going to start with Shellenberger. Y'all don't prosecute Shellenberger. Anywhere I see Shellenberger in public, I'm going to disrespect his white ass. I'm going to call him all kinds of names. And you're going to have to take me to court. When you take me to court, you're going to have to ask me why I treat him the way I treat him. And we're going to go settle it that way. Like I said, you between a rock and a hard place, the mud and the dirt. I don't give a fuck about going to jail. And I ain't scared of dying. There's nothing that you can take from me that you ain't already did to me. But there's something I'm going to do to you. It's a fair exchange. It ain't no stick up without a gun. Click, aim, and shoot, copy, and send. Shut your live feeds down when you outside in the public. I'm not your fucking friend. You running for office? I'm going to run my fucking mouth. And when I run my mouth, I'm going to be like E.F. Hutton. People pay attention, and motherfuckers do listen. When I call your name out and say you corrupt and you racist, it ain't just white people that's corrupt and racist. You got black people that's corrupt and racist. And racism exists because you have money and power. So you a black racist. You can't pay Tony Bridges to open his mouth because he used to work for Governor O'Malley. He worked for Governor O'Malley in the community part, in the community where he was selling out the black community. For every one black life that Governor O'Malley saved, he got 1,000 he sent to jail. Now, Congressman Cummings know the same thing because he was part of O'Malley's machine. Got a picture with me, Congressman Cummings. See, that's my intellectual property. When I take pictures and photos, that's my shit. I control the rights to that shit. So everything that Congressman Cummings got, since he dead, part of my whistleblowers application I sent to Congressman Cummings. He sits on the oversight committee for the prison industry and the grand jury. The same way that y'all got that white lady in Washington, D.C. blowing the whistle on Donald Trump, I'm blowing the whistle on the Democratic Party. So the enemy of my enemy going to be my friend. Because like I said, I'm a Republican. Scott Shellenberger used his office for political gain against a political opponent. I'm a Republican, a black radical Republican. And you're going to pay me what you owe me. Do it the easy way, the hard way. But dog, I got more time than you got dirty money. Go to the Department of Justice. You see the Attorney General. You see the state prosecutor. You see the Attorney General. Yeah, that's all I got to do. I'm going to break y'all down like a criminal enterprise, the same way that you break a criminal enterprise down. You already seen me at the event with Senator Huff. Yeah, Senator Huff gave you the breakdown of a criminal enterprise. So he said, go to the federal government. Anything that Scott Shellenberger's sitting on, y'all gonna have to reverse and remand it. You got over 10,000 cases that you're gonna have to reverse and remand. If I can get 100 of those 10,000 cases to file a class action lawsuit for the love of money. For the love of money. Class action lawsuit, a whole lot of people gonna come out to work. I did it. Yeah, I'm coming after your money, and I'm gonna have fun doing it. And in the process, I'm gonna find me some contacts over in Russia, Korea, and China. I'm gonna start live feeding my shit to Russia, Korea, and China. We're gonna show you about being black in America. This is the digital underground. I'm gonna make you do the Humpty dance. Watch me. When I name your names, be like Eve Hutton. People pay attention. We're gonna talk about the money from the Able Foundation to Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle. We're gonna talk about the financing for C.D. Witherspoon, the People's Assembly. I was a part of all that. We're gonna talk about Annapolis. And like I said, I testified in front of the House Judiciary Committee in Annapolis. We're going to take that testimony and put it in front of the House Judiciary Committee in Washington, D.C. Everything that Congressman Cummings has in his office, he needs to turn over to the sitting House Judiciary Committee chairman. And then he needs to turn it over to Senator Grassley of the Senate Judiciary Committee and Hardin. Your oversight is the prison industry and accessing the grand jury. I'm a whistleblower, and I'm going to blow the whistle in such a way. Click, aim, and shoot. Copy and send. When I see Brandon Scott, we're going to talk about the 2014 elections in the campaign office. We're going to talk about a lot of shit. Because y'all ain't going to be having these superficial heroes and these self-serving demigods. I'm getting ready to break you down in such a way. You got a problem with me? Lock me up. Charge me with something. Calling me crazy ain't going to get it. Because crazy people can't do what I do. I don't take no medication. I drink Jack Daniels. That's what I do. Now you can look at everybody's name on this post. Those we're gonna get the emails from DD Shortman at AOL.com from 2006 to 2010. We're gonna let the grand jury see that too. You're gonna give me access to the grand jury, but like I said, I'm gonna sell this shit to Russia. We talking about the elections. We talking about being black in America. We talking about racism 2020. We're gonna talk about it. Read the names on the emails. Ask Johnny Oleski. Ask about my criminal complaint, because that's denial of due process. That's a direct appeal to the Supreme Court. What you want to do? What's in your wallet?